So I think hello everybody. My name is Binga and I'm back here online and I think Bonka should be here right now. I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my Facebook and the whole thing is just messing up. But I'm glad I'm able to fix that. Bonka is here now, so I'm gonna bring him on and we're gonna join. He's gonna join me right now. Conversation. Yeah, good. Finally, we are able to figure this out. I'm happy. So, to every Yoruba citizen watching this, every Igbo citizen watching this, I'm not going to um, distort history. I'm not going to distort history. I'm just going to say it the way they are historically. I'm going to just, yeah, Bonka, can you hear me? Are you ready for this? Seems you are still outside or something. Hello, Bonka. Hello? I think your phone is mute or something. Okay. So if you go on YouTube, you see the video. Let me go to YouTube. If you have YouTube by your laptop or something, it's very important for me, and I have to do this. Some people don't care, but I do care. Yeah, Bonka, can
Yeah,
you hear
very
me?
well. Yeah.
Right, good. I can hear you too. So I think we have few folks in Nigeria that are watching summer in America, and they are here live with us, and we have to do this.
Zeno, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly. I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you very well. Can you
But
hear
you
me
have to
too?
look for you have to look for a better place to stay because of the noise.
Yeah.
You have to look for a better place to stay because of the noise.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. As long as the noise is not
Yeah.
distorting us, we are good.
Yes. Okay, let's start.
So now I'm trying to. Yeah, we're gonna start. I apologize for everybody that have been waiting for us, and we're trying to figure out a lot of things. So I don't know my network. I'm in the library, and the library network is just somehow I don't understand. So now I'm going to this way. We are Yorubas, okay? We speak one language. We, we have the same norms. We have the same culture. We have the same way of life. We are not a tribe. We are not a tribe. The Yorubas are not a tribe. So many illiterates, so many uneducated, so many unenlightened people will come online and call 10 million people, 5 million people a tribe. There are no tribes in Nigeria. There is a nation called Iceland, because I need to lecture a lot of people about it. There is a nation called Iceland. There are just 350,000 people. The people of Iceland are not a tribe, they are a nation. So how can you call the Nupes, who are more than 2 million, the Benins, who are more than 5 million, the Igbos, who are more than 25 million tribes? You are uneducated. That is the problem. But so that one aside, now Adenika's grandson came on Radio Biafra International some weeks ago. Bunker, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sure. Adenika's
Okay.
grandson came on Radio Biafra International some weeks ago. So he had a conversation with with the Biafra. Radio Biafra International is another Radio Biafra wing. It's different from IPOB. IPOB is the Nnamdi Kanu wing, which I think they are genuine about their Biafra agitation, but the Radio Biafra International are the fraudulent ones that collect money from Hausa Fulani to do whatever they are doing. So they are not genuine. So this guy said because um, he couldn't have the opportunity to engage Adenika grandson. So he went on YouTube and made a video about the history of Yoruba. So the video is on YouTube. You can go and check it. And we are going to discuss this video and discuss the real history of the Yoruba because this guy is
Yes,
educated.
I have the video on my page. I'm not sure if you have it on your page. Do you
I
have it on
have
your page?
I have it open right now. So
Okay,
I
all
want you
right.
to I want you to take it from here. What do you have to say first?
Okay, at first, when I started listening to it, I was kind of disappointed because Yeah, apparently that's a guy that was worried. He was upset that Adeyinka grandson said something, and then he feels like he has to address it, which is fine. I mean, like, but what we're after as historians is truth. We first start with truth and we end with truth. One thing I've noticed about Yoruba nation, if you look at the history of our forefathers, we've always been a nurturing nation. And when I say nurturing nation, I mean that Yoruba nation always picked other nations and then they groomed them into nationhood, right?
Like
So,
like Ambode is doing it right now, saying everybody should
right,
speak Yoruba. And before you know it, the Igbos in Lagos will become Yorubas.
yes, they know how to build a nation, not only by themselves, they are benevolent to their neighbors. So now it was Yoruba nation that evolved Benin into what it was. They
Yes.
gave them everything that they needed to become a great nation,
Okay.
including how to set up the nation, including how to set up their spirituality, including how to set up their administration. You know, they did the same with Dahomey. There was this man called Tegbesu.
Okay.
Tegbesu was a prince of Dahomey. He came to Oyo and grew up in Oyo, learned how Oyo evolved, went back to Dahomey and set up the same style.
The same
That
system.
is why the same system. That is why a proverb says, "Aji shebi Oyo lanri,
Oyo
Oyo
Oshiba.
shebi baba enikan." It's because everybody comes there and want Oyo is like the Paris of our region. It's like the New York of our
Of
region.
Africa. Of Africa.
Of that time, yes. So if you notice, we already have our own fashion stance, our dashiki, our agbada and everything, while people were still dressing in animal skin. So we were the pacesetters of fashion, we were the pacesetters of Greek, we were the pacesetters of technology, we were the pacesetters of cultures.
Administrative, political administration rather.
Yes. So it was Tegbesu that turned that
So
into an empire. Now, but what I've noticed about these people, with an exception to Dahomey, everybody that Yoruba nation has been good to, they turn back to insult us.
that is
They
it.
turn back to
That
abuse
is
us.
and that is history repeating itself again with the Igbos.
Exactly. Now, when we put up something about Samuel Ajayi Crowther, the way he helped Igbos evolve in terms of giving them introducing them to civilization and everything, you can see how Igbos attacked back. Now, when Awolowo was premier, Tafawa Balewa offered him something and said, come and join my government. I will reserve ministerial post for your people. Awolowo said in good conscience, as an egalitarian, I can't come and join your government because your government believes in feudalism.
Which is a feudal society.
Yeah,
The,
your
the,
government
the,
believes in
the
oppression of the
noble,
poor.
for the purpose of those that who don't understand, the nobles and the serfs, the warlords and the peasants, that is the feudal structure.
Okay? He said, no, I am not doing that. I would rather stay on the opposition. And from the opposition, he started helping the Middle Belt and the Niger Deltas to reform, financing them, helping them. That is what the Yoruba nation has always been, a nation that nurtures,
All that. So
a
for the
nation
purpose
that
of this
helps. Now,
for the purpose of
okay,
this conversation, we are going to break down this
yeah,
conversation into, because I don't want us to spend too much time. I want us to spend about an hour and
okay,
be
all
able
right,
to round up on this thing. We're going to break this into about 4 or 5 categories. The number one
right,
point I'm going to just want us to discuss will be the original settlers of Lagos. Okay,
okay,
the original settlers of Lagos. Under this, we have to talk about the population. Okay, we have to talk about
yes,
the introduction of the British.
yes,
We have to talk about the legal battles over the lands. And we have to talk about slavery. Then we have to talk about the evolution of nation states. You might call them kingdom, empire, or whatever, but that is what they have.
Those are all the things that guy distorted in that video.
That is why I wanted us to
Yeah.
highlight those points
Okay.
one after the other. So, what other key points do you want to
So
discuss tonight?
let us start from what he said first. that we were immigrants and that Lagos never belonged to us. He said Lagos belongs to the Benin people, right? And that we were immigrants that came there, and we came there on the patronage of the British. So let's start from the foundation, the history of Lagos.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lagos.
So
Lagos, the original settlers of Lagos are the Aworis. The Aworis are originally from Ife. The Aworis were led by a noble called Ogunfunminire. Are you listening to me?
I think his name is Ogunfunminire.
Ogunfunminire, rather.
Yeah.
Ogunfunminire, yeah. So Ogunfunminire was the one that, founded that place, which, his descendants became the Idaho chiefs.
True.
Okay.
Exactly.
The Idaho chiefs,
and there were 12 of them.
About 12 of them. Yeah, 12 of them.
Yes.
And if I can remember very well, we have the Aromire, we have the Oloto, we have Aromire. Aromire. We have the Oloto, we have the Ojora, we have the Onikoyi, we have the Onitano, we have the Olumegbon, we have Onitolo. The Onitolo's family happens to be my family friend. I still know them. Some of them live in Britain. We have the Onitolo, and we have the most famous among them, which is very, famous today, the Elegushi. Elegushi.
Yeah.
Elegushi. Elegushi is in what's it called? On the
island. Yeah.
On the island. The Elegushi family. And when I was working in Lagos, I used to go to their place very well. It's just after the Palms Mall. Do you understand? If you know the Palms Mall at Victoria Island, on your way after Ikoyi, it's just very close to the Palms Mall. So the Elegushi are still there till today. The Elegushi of Elegushi make their money. So these are the people that settled in Lagos and were the original owners of the land in Lagos. So this is what happened. This is what, before even Benin showed up at all, before the Benin people ever, thought of Lagos. These chiefs have been in Lagos and are in charge of the lands. Now, are you with me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one of our viewers saying that Oba Said Elegushi is junior in Lasu.
in what?
He said Oba Said Elegushi was his junior in Lasu. I mean, I can't dispute that anyway.
Yeah.
So what am I saying?
We're actually talking of history from way back. We're talking of his ancestors, not. Okay.
No, the 12 Idaho chiefs are the original landowners in Lagos. However, when the Oba of Benin, decided to come to Lagos and wanted to be part of this environment, the Idaho chiefs agreed, to form a truce, because we all know that the Benin people are descendants from Oduduwa, which are part of the Yoruba, lineage. And
sorry to cut you in. Let me cut you in for a second. Now we need to put the times in perspective. Ogunfunminire came in around the 16th century. Okay.
That was even before
long before even the Oba had his eye on Lagos. Now the Oba that marched into Lagos was an Oba called Orobua.
Yeah.
Orobua. Oba Orobua was the son of Oba Isige, the grandson of Oba Iware. Oba Iware was the first Oba that started empire in Benin. So his grandson marched into Lagos because he went to Portugal and saw the naval might and yes. So he understood that for you to be a great nation, you have to have a command of the naval coast of your region.
The sea route.
That was why he came and conquered all the way into Lagos in the 18th century. That was about 200 years after the Dejo chiefs. Yes.
After. And to make this very easy for everybody, the Dejo chiefs, who are still the original landowners, decided to put a truce and allowed the Benin Oba to be in charge of treaties and commerce, and control the shoreline, of Lagos at this period. However, they maintained and retained every right to the land in Lagos.
The lands, absolutely.
That is just the correct history. So this guy came on YouTube and started showing us some distorted history, talking about I don't even know who gave this guy education, because how can you come on YouTube and be distorting history? This is just the factual.
The pathetic part of it was that this guy was quoting somebody, and what the person is saying is different from what he's interpreting.
Thank you very much. That is the most annoying part of it. In history, nobody ever heard of the Uyo Empire. What is Uyo Empire? The white man with his strong European accent was saying Oyo Empire, but the way he was pronouncing it, he was saying Oyo Empire. My people, this guy was saying Uyo Empire conquered Lagos, whereas the Englishman narrating the story was saying Oyo Empire, conquered Lagos. However, that is not important. When the British came to Lagos, are you listening, Bebonka?
Yes.
When the British came to Lagos, I think it was Dosunmu that signed treaties and deals.
Yes, he ceded the land in 1861.
1861.
In the 1861 treaty. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 1861. And the Idaho chiefs, that is why I used to tell some Igbos that Yorubas are way sophisticated than you, but you will not understand. The Idaho chiefs contested this decision with the colonial talks, because I used to call them colonial talks anyway. The Idaho chiefs contested this decision and said this land belongs to us. And to make this matter very interesting, the colonial master, with all their military might, with all their administrative might, they couldn't win this case because the court in Lagos, headed by this, what is the name of this British judge? Can you remember the name of the British judge that said that?
I think it was Willig. It starts with a W.
I will remember later. The name of the British judge decided that the Idaho chiefs are the real owner of this land, and as a result must be compensated.
I think that was when they wanted to build a lighthouse at Takwa Bay. They wanted to build a lighthouse. Yeah.
Hold on. He said every treaty that the British signed with Dosunmu, which was then the Oba that signed the treaties with the British, is null and void because the real owner of the land have not consented to the treaty. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Hello? So, as of this period, I think it was Takwa Bay. Yeah, they wanted to make something on Takwa Bay.
They wanted to build a seaport at Takwa Bay.
Seaport at Takwa Bay. Yeah, you're very right. And they went to...
Then the judge chief of Takwa Bay was called Tijani. His name was Tijani.
Yeah, it was Tijani, the family of the Tijanis. Yes. Yeah, among the Tijani family. It was the Amadu Tijani family. It was the Amadu Tijani family that fought this legal battle, and they won.
Yes.
The judge was
this is actually what happened. He went to Britain with Herbert Macaulay, and the colonial government on Britain that oversees all the colonies said, no, you cannot take their land. It belongs to them. Plain and simple.
No, I think that one was the Onisiwo family. I think that was the Onisiwo family. The first
Onisiwo family was Takwa Bay.
Yeah,
Onisiwo family was Takwa Bay.
The Onisiwo family was Takwa Bay. Yeah.
Yeah. But the Tijani family controls Apapa. Yeah.
Apapa, yes, you're very right. Yeah. You are very, very right. You are very, very right. So this was even during the colonial
period that we know that the colonial powers are the most sophisticated in terms of civilization, in terms of weaponry, in terms of education,
In terms of knowledge
and everything. But the Idaho chiefs still defeated them on this legal battle. Even in Britain, I think, let me remember the name of the I think it was J. Wingfield or something in Britain that ruled in favor of
He was the chief judge of the appellate. He's the chief judge of the appellate court in England, overseeing all the colonies. Yeah.
That was in December 2nd, 1912, if I can remember clearly.
Yeah.
That was December 12th, 1912. So when you look at this, the British came to Lagos. The British grabbed land as a result of the treaty, But the Idaho family took the British to court in the Southern Protectorate then, right? They defeated them.
Right.
They went to Britain. They defeated them again. And they were told that anytime the colonial administration want to make use of any land, the Idaho family, who are, as I mentioned earlier, by 12, right? Any of them controlling any of those land must be compensated for the land.
Okay.
That was what happened, and that is history. That is factual.
So, do you now consider it to be an insult for someone to say it is a no man's land?
It is an insult, a big insult, for them to say Lagos is a no man's land. One of our friends is saying hello, Eruti Aufama. How are you? I hope you are doing good. You're my very good friend. I don't care about the media problem, but I just need to say deep down. So that is about the original settlers of Lagos. We have discussed that the Idaho family, who are about 12 of them, the Aromire, the Oluwa, the Ojora, the Onikoyi, the Elegushi, the Olumegbon, and Co. are the original land settlers. Even when the Benin people came, they never had access to the land. Not Oba of Benin in Benin Kingdom or the Oba in Lagos. Am I clear on that?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So the next thing that this guy discussed about, which I want people to understand, is this: that at every point in time, who have the highest population in Lagos? At every point in time, I want you to differentiate.
Oh Lord! Why did you? Oh!
Hello. Hello.
Who is that?
Sorry,
Yeah,
I just came in and then I scared madam. Okay, I'm hearing you.
All right. So at every point in time, I want us to discuss the population configuration of Lagos.
Yes,
that is what I want us to discuss right now.
Lagos has always been populated by Yoruba people. They've always been the owners and majority of the land. It started with the Aworis, and then at some point people started migrating. But at no point in history was the land ever populated by people more than the Yoruba people. At no time.
It started with the Aworis. Then we have the Egbas. Right? We have the Jebu.
Controlling the trade routes. You see how this slave trade and everything that was happening? That's the Jabu people control. They controlled all the trade routes. If you remember, the most powerful person at some point in Lagos, the most powerful person at some point in Lagos was Madam Tinubu, and she was an Egba woman. She controlled commerce, controlled everything. The British had to drive her away. Yeah.
For us not to waste time, the population configuration in Lagos have always been Yorubas, either the Egbas or the Jebus or the Ketu people or the Aworis. The population configuration in Lagos from time immemorial are Yorubas. I think your husband is Jebus. Yeah, I know. So, Bonga, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
I want people to go on YouTube and I want people, for the purpose of this conversation, I want people to go on YouTube and type history of Yoruba part 1. You will see an Igbo man. He's about in his 40s or 30 something. saying jargons like somebody that is suffering from
he's a disgrace. He is a disgrace.
cognitive dissonance. Somebody that I can't explain the way what he's suffering from. So what shook me most was when he was talking about the history of the Yorubas. That was appalling. You remember when he was talking about the history of the Yorubas, and he was saying how that slavery, that Yoruba people brought slavery into the present day Nigeria. That that there was nothing like slavery that in history of mankind. Listen and listen carefully. I think that was on I can't remember the
I think it was 10:14.
10:24 or something. If you look at 10
thereabout
of the video, this guy said that in the history of mankind, Igbo people, you will not kill me. In the history of mankind, there was nothing like slavery. That it was the Yoruba people that started slave trade, that taught the Hausa Fulani slave trade, that taught even the Igbo slave trade. Please, which kingdom is Igbo? Hold on, no. Let's argue this. Which kingdom did the Igbos in history ever built? Kingdom, not empire. Kingdom. Because maybe I've not read.
No, that's even going too far. They never even had a centralized administration. Talk less of kingdom.
Telling us on this video that they are the one that they will go and capture people and take to Biafra land. What is Biafra land? I've never heard of this before. So he said the Yorubas are the ones that taught everybody, the Benin people, the Hausa Fulani, the what's it called? Everybody was taught including the British and the Portuguese.
Okay. So let's talk about the history of slavery and slavery in Nigeria.
Okay. Go ahead and expatiate on slavery, because and you have to remember. Hold on, you have to remember the wars that are being fought in the how do I put it, when people are trying to form their nation state.
Their nations,
Yoruba, the Yoruba built empires more than twice. The Benin built kingdom. The Bonom Kanum have their own.
Kanem Bono and the Hausa.
Sokoto Caliphate. And before these people came, remember, Kano, Amina Ozaria, these are people trying to evolve themselves together into a unified, nation state. You might call it a kingdom, whatever, but that is what it is. Nation state.
Okay. So you see, let's start with the slavery first before we go into nation states formation. Obviously, see, this is what I'm saying, and I'm not saying it from a mind of hate.
Okay.
The Igbo people might never understand what it takes to build a nation because it wasn't their history. So I can actually pardon him when he talks like that. But let's start first with slavery. Slavery started during the time the first person in that area that wanted to build an expansionist was Oba Ewuare of Benin.
Yes.
Now, as Oba Ewuare started conquering, he started acquiring slaves, and he started trading them with the Portuguese. And I think
that was in 1516, if I can remember.
15 exactly. Okay, now
the problem is that they don't know they are dealing with properly trained historians. Let me tell Igbos that don't know. I had my second degree, which is a master's degree in the political history of America. So when I'm talking about history, we are fast in it. We cannot come online and be saying nonsense like Yoruba started slave trade. So Bunker, I'm listening to you.
Okay, so Ewuare, as Ewuare met with the Portuguese, and he was impressed. He wanted to trade with them. They wanted to trade pepper and guns and everything. So he started selling slaves to them. Now, his son, Oba Esige, now said, no, I can't sell you male slaves because the business is becoming...
That was when they started having shortage of labor.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. They started having a shortage of labor in Benin. So they were like, you know what? We're not selling you male slaves anymore because we need them. We need to retain them. So we're going to sell you female slaves. It was at that point that the Portuguese now started looking for another avenue to buy slaves. And that was when they now went towards Ijebu area.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about the Hausa kingdom. That is even long before slavery in Yoruba land. There was an emir in Kano called Sakin Rumfa.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Muhammadu Rumfa. So slavery in Kano was so big at that time that they used to trade slaves through the caravan trade route with the Ottoman Empire up in the Middle East. So Rumfa actually had his court with slaves. His judges were slaves. His soldiers were slaves. His commandants were slaves. Even his bodyguards.
He used to give them responsibilities to rise in terms of loyalty.
In terms of loyalty. So for him to now say that slavery started in our region in the 17th century. And all this history we spoke about started in the 16th, 14th to 16th century. So that is why it's very embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for him on behalf of his people because he's doing them a big disservice by saying a lot of trash. But it's very important for us to kind of clarify it with our own people. Our business is not with them. You know, it's with us. So we have to clarify it. Now, I want to go into nation building. I'm not sure if you want to talk about that or you want me to talk about it.
When you talk about nation building, no Igbo man will lay claim that Onitsha belongs to Benin. Am I right? If you ask any Igbo man, either revisionist or not, none of them will want to accept the fact that Onitsha belongs to Benin, because even though it was founded by Benin migrants for many years, the Obi of Onitsha,
and his name was Onichado.
Oh yeah, the legitimacy to the throne of Onitsha was by the approval of Oba of Benin, who must send a sword to the office. The Oba of Benin dominated, this area as of this time. So people that doesn't have any sense of history, people that doesn't have no historical background to their existence, will now come and say, Benin people are the owner of Lagos. Do you understand? Do you know what it takes to build an empire? If you look at the YouTube video he was discussing from, or the book he was discussing from, it was magnifying, it was exalting, it was,
Yeah, he was saying a lot of great things.
The Yoruba nation of the Yorubas and the great achievement of the Yorubas. But this guy was so pathetic that he would be misinterpreting and misrepresenting what was actually said in the video. Do you understand?
Another thing he said that was very embarrassing. He was talking about Oyo history, and then he was talking about Ketu. You know that Oduduwa gave beaded crowns to many of his children. Some of his children now found...
Even where he was reading from, it was said in that video that Ketu was founded by Oduduwa, or your mythic history, Oduduwa.
It even said that Oyo was founded by Oromiyo. The book said so.
That was what, and that was on 1024. Anybody watching on YouTube should, move to 1024 and look at.
But he just chose a cognitive dissonance, and he kept saying we migrated from Dahomey. Now, how can you say Yoruba people migrated from Dahomey when Dahomey existed before? Dahomey existed after Yoruba nation. How can you migrate from a nation that came after you? Yeah.
Bunker, you know what was making me laugh? One of our viewers said Edo used the Keke rally to go and buy fabrics in Odisha. So Ketu was founded within the 16 nations of Oduduwa descendants. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Ketu was founded. Ketu has always been Yoruba speaking. The Yoruba people, and
There's another kingdom called Popo Kingdom.
Popo Kingdom.
Yes, that's also.
In the book, it says that
they're not part of Nigeria today.
But it said that all these people pay tribute to
Oyo.
Intellectual fraud. Because even eventually it was Gezo that destroyed Ketu.
Yes.
The book said that the people of Dahomey were resisting the caravans of the Oyo Empire. Do you understand? Because of their firepower. But later, after some reinforcement, the Oyo people were able to suppress the Dahomey people, make them an extension of Oyo Empire. Do you know what it takes to be an empire? We're not talking about kingdom. One of the greatest empire in the world is the Oyo Empire. Remember what the Ottoman Empire did before its fall during the First World War. Because they have people that are the aim of intellectual discourse that were projecting the Ottoman Empire to be one of the best things. Everybody is conversant and vast with Ottoman Empire. But because we Yorubas, we are too liberal. We just let things fly by. We don't try to speak up about our history. The Oyo Empire is one of the greatest in history.
The Alaafin that conquered Dahomey is called Alaafin Ojigi. And Ojigi. He conquered far into River Niger, up to the banks of the Niger of Niger. Now, the commandant that actually conquered Dahomey was Bashorun Yamba. He was the father of Bashorun Ga. That was when they became
the famous Bashorun Ga that became a thorn in the neck of the Yoruba Oba.
Oh, the Yoruba Obas. So what happened was that when Oyo and Fulani started fighting, and the traitors we have in our midst, and we still have them, all the bastards, the traitors we have in our midst enlisted in Ilorin and started showing them the secret of how to conquer our land. That was when Benin revolted.
This is still back to the statement I made earlier about liberalism. You are a Yoruba conservative. I'm a conservative Yoruba person. But the liberals among us are always the one selling us out. It has been, I think it's a DNA problem. Or what do you think?
It is. I don't think it's a DNA problem, but I think that we just have ambitious people. They're always ambitious Yoruba people.
At the expense of positions.
Look at this man. This man was called Dekun. Dekun, because he had a fight with Oyo, he now went to meet Gezo. He was the one who showed Gezo how to penetrate and destroy Ketu. He was the one who showed that not only Ketu, he was actually coming and destroying Egbalands. The only thing that saved them was this woman came from Lagos at that time. This woman, this popular merchant, what's her name?
But this guy claimed that Dahomey was under the control of, Lagos was under the control of Dahomey. That was what he was saying on the video.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. But Dahomey and Lagos never even had anything in common. They never had any history.
That was what he was saying, that the people of Ketu were paying homage to Dahomey, and Dahomey was actually at the end of affair of Lagos before the Yoruba people came to drive them out and take charge of Lagos. That we are migrants, just as they are migrants in Lagos today. Remember, Queen Amina of Zaria at that time dominated a region far into Bogu land, which included part of modern-day Benin, Republic of the North.
Okay, there's something he said again. He said our region was full of.
I'm trying to talk about the Queen Amina of Zaria.
Right. You know, this guy said there's a lot of chaos that was happening in our region. We were fighting each other and everything.
We are not fighting Biafrans. We are fighting ourselves.
One thing he didn't understand is that when you want to be a dominant force in a region, right, you have to go out and conquer. And that was not unique only to Yoruba land. Oyo was the dominant figure of that time, just as Benin was the dominant figure of their time. They were living in fear of Benin, the Igbos themselves.
Of course.
They were living in fear of Benin. Benin was the dominant kingdom of Benin. Yeah. Now, in the north, right? We had Amina that was conquering, like you said.
She
And then we
dominated
had,
our region into the
then we had,
Bogu lands that included modern day Republic of the Benin Republic to the north. The Kanuri built
right,
an empire as well into the northeast, and
yeah,
annexed it far into Chad, right? All the way to the
yeah,
borders of Egypt, and as well certain parts of Niger. We have the Shonga Empire that
yeah,
conquered
that came all the way into Sokoto. True.
Igbos
Yeah.
never built anything.
So now I don't understand why he's making it look like what we were doing in our region
Is
is
different from what
all
others are doing.
happening. Yeah, it was happening everywhere.
Everywhere.
So
The
that's why I'm
elephants are doing
saying
their
that
own.
the
The Kanuri
reason
were
why,
doing their own. The Fulani were coming from Futajalon up to Sokoto Caliphate. The Benin
yeah,
were doing their own. It is called the evolution of nation states.
nation
You have to
building.
build cohesion. You have to build cohesion. You have to make sure you are formidable because you are weak when you are scanty. And that is the reason the Igbos were scanty when this civilization was going on all around them. They were scanty. They were unorganized. They don't have it. They don't have no military, no nothing whatsoever. And he started shouting, oh, the Yorubas were the first people to submit to the British. That they fought the British all through. If you watch the video very well, he was saying that the Yorubas were the first to submit to the British. That when the British got to the Fulanis, that the Fulanis struck a deal with them that please retain our norms and values. Are you listening to me?
Uh-huh.
Retain our norms and values, and we will allow you,
But the truth was that, but that the royal force that was made of Hausa people, the Fulani people came, and during the time of Uthman Dan Fodio, and they deceived the Hausa people to join them against their leaders.
Okay.
Immediately they finished, the Fulani now consolidated power and then became a master race over them. So when the British came, the Hausa
annexed, which is what they have annexed to our region today.
Exactly. Let me tell you something about Fulani people. Fulani are not good warriors, but this is what they do, and they are very smart. You have to give this to them. Before they penetrate
they are brave.
Before they penetrate any region, they first of all cause confusion in that region. They make them clash each other. They make them clash their leaders. Then they come in as spiritual people that will bring sanity. So while that is going on, they just consolidate. Now, they did it in the Hausa kingdom, and they took over all those Hausa lands.
It was massive.
They did it in Yoruba through the rebellion between Afoja and the Oyo. So they were able to penetrate to that. But the moment Yoruba people decided to unite, they couldn't enter anymore. That was how they were defeated in Ochogbo. They could not conquer Benin because Benin was united against their leader. They could not conquer Kanuri.
Don't forget, we have to make this very clear to the Yorubas watching, that when Oyo Empire was about to be sacked, people, you and I, in those days, rallied around together. If you read Yoruba World of the 18th century, you remember what I'm saying. They rallied around together, call on the likes of Shango, call on the likes of Ogun, and chase them back. That was how we salvaged what is left of our region today. Because if that had not happened, if these people didn't die for us, for the soil of the Yoruba, the southwest region we are shouting today will be another
extension. It will be ruled by emirs. It will be ruled by emirs, by Fulani emirs.
Like we have the Sulu Gambari in Ilorin. Although that was made possible by the British. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
The British made that possible because the Yorubas were able to conduct a referendum in 1959. Which the people of Ilorin say they want to back to their kith and king, but the British made sure they frustrated that effort. So go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, so yeah, that was what I'm saying. Like, so the unity, if you look at the same way they use it in that power, is what they use in politics today. Yes. They come in and cause confusion, and the major people now, I see Igbo saying that Yoruba people are always siding with Fulani to destroy Southern unity. That is another. The last thing I want to discuss about is a lot of revisionist lies that have come from the East. If you listen to this history, there's nobody that fought for Southern unity more than Awolowo. But do you know why? The reason what in the Igbo man's mind, why he's upset with Yoruba is because we never allowed Zik to colonize us.
Which they talk about cross carpeting before we go. Talk about the cross carpet that the Igbo revisionists have been talking about during the First Republic.
There was never a cross carpeting. It never happened.
They
made the whole story up.
It is one of their illusions.
They made the whole story up. They said some NCNC members crossed from NCNC to AG. All these things never happened. AG won NCNC loud and clear. Now, if you tell them to mention the name of these so-called NCNC members that crossed to AG to give Awolowo, they will mention the speaker that left NCNC in 1954. They will mention this man in Ibadan, or the Ibadan delegates that were under IPP. But the thing that happened was that, you see, in the Midwest, those people voted NCNC. But all the Yoruba areas, none of them voted except Lagos. None of them voted NCNC. They all voted AG. So AG was already leading. So I don't know where that story of carpet crossing came from, where that lie came from. It never happened.
They always want to establish a kind of delusion that Zik won in the Western region, and Awolowo.
And then tribalism, use tribalism. Yeah. Now, I want to even talk about tribalism. This will shock people because people don't even know this.
Yeah.
The person before Zik took over from Herbert Macaulay, we don't think as tribal people. We think about like Southerners. Now, Zik wrote a blueprint. He wrote a blueprint in 1946 and said that they should divide Nigeria into 16 provinces along ethnic lines. He said it specifically that he wanted Nigeria to be divided along ethnic lines. So now, he was now consolidating his people, all the Igbo unions. He brought them all together under one union and called it Igbo State Union. Then he now became the first president. Now, he wanted this union to be the one that will supply the intellectuals that will rule the new country. Do you understand?
And he said the destiny of the Igbos in Nigeria, in the present, the new country, is to rule the others.
Yes, like that's God's given destiny on them.
That's their destiny,
now, yeah. Now, the Yoruba people now started their Egbe Omo Oduduwa. The Ijaw people too started their own. And the Edo people started their own.
For every conservative to do, which is the principle of self-preservation.
Yeah. Now this man Zik, as he was building his own group, Igbo State, he was fighting everybody else that were doing their own. Because he wanted only the Igbos to be the only united tribe. Because as the other people were now starting to unite, they were now having a strong voice. They were talking from a position of strength. He didn't like that. That was when he now cancelled it and said, you know what? We're not doing tribal anymore. We're going to have a strong central. And all the others said, no, we're going to keep it the way the blueprint said. That was where tribalism came from. But all of a sudden, they've twisted the whole story. They've twisted the whole story and said, no, what we need to do now is make sure. What we need to do now is to make sure we set the record straight for every Igbo. I don't care when you come tomorrow and start abusing. I won't respond to you. I've told you history. We have told you the way it is with facts. You can try to distort history. But as discussed tonight, Bunker, the original settlers and the landowners of Lagos are the Ijaw family. Yes, right? And they were Aworis.
They are Aworis, and their descendants are the 12 Ijaw family, right?
Yes, and they are all the sons of Ogunfunminire.
The legal battle between the Great Britain, and this family was won by the family at every point in time, even when they went
Yes.
to the Supreme Court in Britain.
In England,
These are
yes.
historical facts that are in the the National Archive of Great Britain itself. The population of Lagos at every point in time has been dominated by none but the Yorubas.
Yes. And then I want to add one more thing before we round up.
Okay.
The foundation of Yoruba nation was not from Oyo, it was from Ife.
Ile-Ife.
It was from Ife.
And this guy was saying Oyo.
Exactly. So he was talking about the way Oyo was formed. Oyo, in fact, Oyo was not part of the first kingdoms at Oduduwa. Oyo was founded after Oduduwa was dead. Oyo was not even part of those initial founding nations. Now, Ife existed even before Oduduwa. Ife has always been an organized nation existing long before Oduduwa.
Because of the exploit of Oduduwa that brought about expansions due to his descendants. That was why we used to revere him in the Yoruba mythological concept.
Yoruba nation did not start from him. Yeah. In fact, see, Obatala was already leading the 13 city-states of Ife that had always been there before Oduduwa showed up. They have been administrators, you know. So, like, if you want to talk about the origin of Yoruba nation, you don't start from Oyo, you start from Ife. So, if you can convince me that the people from Ife migrated from Kutonu, then you have a case. You know, that was where everybody came from. You know,
my God.
That's what I want to,
So, as I've said earlier, slavery was not started by the Yorubas. This is just a dumb assumption. You know, it's a dumb assumption. Slavery, I don't even know if they understand.
In fact, he said something again that I want to. He said something I want to clarify. He said Yoruba people are plenty in Portuguese. By the Portuguese were sold to the Portuguese. It was not Yoruba people they were selling their brothers to the Portuguese. It was after Gezo invaded from Dahomey, and the Fulani people were invading from the north. These were the people taking Yoruba people as slaves. Yoruba people were not taking each other.
That was even before the transatlantic slave trade.
Exactly, you know. So
So I mean, it's good having you on here tonight, and I'm sure we're going to do more of this next week. Next week we're going to have time and do it early enough so people that are in Nigeria can join us on time. And you know, I apologize for everybody that have looked forward to join us on this conversation, but couldn't make it because it's late already. But you know, we live in America and it's still very early, right? So whoever that wakes up tomorrow and watches this video, the Yorubas founded Lagos, not Dahomey, not anybody. The Yorubas are the original owner of Lagos. Lagos is not a no man's land. Igbo people.
It is the land of the Aworis people.
Igbo people. Your problem is Lagos. Lagos. Your problem is Lagos. Now, there's another thing they used to say that we build. We saw Dubai the way it looks, right?
Yeah.
The Arabians built Dubai, and from the proceeds of their wealth, they went to Britain. They bought the likes of Etihad, Manchester, right? They invested money. The Chinese have their Beijing industrialization. Out of the abundance, they came to New York, Chinatown.
No, you came to Lagos and you made your wealth there. You didn't bring your wealth.
Hold on. Let me land. The people of India, they are here. They have gas stations, sit go. They brought the wealth from India to build wealth. But where did Igbo comes from? They came from the east with bedroom slippers, nothing, no money.
You know, the guy even said something I just remembered now. He said, what did Yoruba people contribute to the commercial development of Lagos? Did you hear when he said that?
He said, what did Yoruba contribute to the commercial development of Lagos?
But he did not understand that all those blue chip companies from Cadbury to Coca-Cola to
those are the things,
Nestle.
those are the profit they used to build Lagos. You know, the likes of
They don't know that all those companies,
the likes of all these industrial companies that Olowo brought, all the
they were brought in by Olowo.
Financial sectors that are already on ground. These are the things, these are the structures that the Igbos made.
The major banks in Lagos that finance Lagos, they are owned by Yoruba people. The indigenous banks.
Igbo don't know that. But the problem is, we have too many bunker. We have too many liberals among the Yorubas. You will any statement like, I'm a detribalized person. I live in America. I don't have the same rights with a white kid, no matter my education.
No, I don't.
This is books. I've been studying all day in the library. I don't have the same privilege. It's called self-preservation. How can an Igbo boy wake up one day and come to Yoruba and have the same privilege with me?
Do I have the same privilege in their land?
Thank you.
Can I go to Igbo land and say yes? I want to open a shop there, and it's just logical.
The liberalism in Yoruba land is killing the Yoruba people, and this has to come to an end. Because let me tell you the truth, there were 14 million when Europeans got to America. Today, the natives are just 300,000. They were 14 million 300 years ago when Europeans got to America. Today, the natives are 300,000. If Yorubas don't wake up from their liberalism and face what it is right now, we will be pushed out of our land. Hausa Fulani cannot be dominating us politically, and Igbos to be dominating us economically. That is the reason everybody can run their mouth at us. And our generation, we are young. We are not liberal. We are going to put all these things right and correct it for the sake of our children, born and unborn.
Yes.
So, the same time next week, we're just going to make this.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining me on this conversation. I know when people wake up, they'll be glad we've been able to shed light on all these things. So, folks, have a good night.
All right, Zedo. Good night.
Thank you.